V'dvach, a blessed vach, a happy vach with lots of Yeshuas and B'seres Tovas. Today we're going to learn about Mציעא, Daf Kuf Tes Vav. We're going to start from Kuf Yudaled on base from Omar Rabbi Yochanan, 4 lines up. Omar Rabbi Yochanan Mishkenoi, someone who took a mashkena deposit, umeis, and the loiva, the one who you took the deposit from, died. Shontoi mal gavi bonov. You could take the deposit that you gave back to him from his sons. Normally, the din is a metaltelim diatmi loy mishtabdile bal choiv, meaning the metaltelim of Yisoimim, they don't need to pay back the choivis of the father from metaltelim, only from karkois. But if it's already a mashkin that is given back, you do need to give it back. You do need to pay because there is some kinyan to the malva in this mashkin. So the Gemara Meisive, I have a cash on this. Omar Aryeh, if we take a mashkin, lama machzirin, why do we give it back? The cushion at night and the machresha in the day. So the Gemara, lama machzirin? What's the cash of Aryeh? Why do you give it back? The Torah said you should give it back, so obviously you need to give it back. Elo, so the Gemara explained, this is pshat of Aryeh's kasha. Elo ma'achash machzirin, if the din is that you have to give it back the cushion at night, and the machresha in the day. Why the next night I'm going to take away the machresha, or the next day I'm going to take away the cushion? I don't have what to do with it. I have to give it back to him, or the next day, the next night. So what's the benefit of this? So says Rameir, you know why I'm taking it back every day? Because I don't want that if Shviz comes, Shmita, so normally Shmita makes away the Bal Choiv go away. So if I have the mashkin by me, I don't lose the Choiv. And also that if the loiva will die while the mashkin's by me, I'm not going to lose the Choiv like normally Mitaltil Diat Miloi Mishtavil Var Choiv. So the Gemara Diuk. Tama Dohoda or Mashkin, the whole reason is because I took back the mashkin and the mashkin's by me when the Shemitah came or when the loiva died. Oh, if it wasn't by me when Shemitah came or when the person died, the Shemitah will be mishametit and the Baal Choiv won't need to pay. The Yisraelim won't need to pay. It's connected what Rabbi Yochanan said. Rabbi Yochanan said that even if the mashkin's by the Yisraelim, you could take it as a Choiv. Didn't you have a kasha? The way it says the price in the original form, you had a kasha on it. There can't be that the kasha is why do you give it back? Because that's obvious because the Torah said. So you explain the price differently. So I'll explain the price even differently, and then you will have a kasha. Torah Tachi explain like this. Since you give it back, the machresha at night and the cushion in the day, the machresha in the day and the cushion at night. Why do you take Bichlal a mashkin in the first place? You anyway have to give it back to him. And that the Torah says that Shviz won't make you lose it. And because if I take a mashkin at the beginning, if I take a mashkin in the first place, not b'shas havo, later on, then if the loiva dies, it won't be metaltel mitzil bonov. And he'll need the Yisraelim will need to pay back, and therefore there's no cash on Rabbi Yochanan. And actually, the Brisa says, like Rabbi Yochanan, that the reason why you take a mashkin is to avoid that it shouldn't be Yisraelim not have to pay back the metaltelim. So to have a cash. Ton Rabbanon, it says in the pasuk, lo tovoi el beisoi lavoi tavoi toi. Don't go to his house to take a mashkin. Le beito yata nichnas. You don't go into his house. If there is a guarantor, I mean, the loiva who borrowed the money, there's the malva who lent the money, and the Aryeh is the one who guarantor that if the loiva doesn't pay, he's going to pay. So to his house, if the loiva is not paying, you're allowed to go in to take a mashkin. We see a pasuk in Mishlei that says that an Aryeh loses by becoming an Aryeh, because it says lakach bigdoi ki Aryeh zar. They took away his cloak because he was an Aryeh to a stranger. But Oyman, it says another pasuk, B'ni, if you're Aryeh to your friend, to katel azar kapecha, you committed to your friend money-wise. If you offended someone, Nilkadeto beimber pecho, you fell with your mouth. Asezes efob ni beinotel. If one of these two things happen, that you're Aryeh, or you said some not nice words to someone, do this and you'll be saved. Kiboto bekach bekafrecho. If you committed to him financially, lech isparis, go and commit to him money. Say, listen, I'm going to pay you, or something like that. And you should bring friends to ask slicha if you offended him. If you have money by him, that means you are Aryeh. You committed to him, you owe him money now. If the problem was that you offended him, send lots of friends to him to ask him mechila because you offended him. So that's one chat that it says in the Pasuk to his house, you don't go to the Aryeh, you do go. The Tzad there's another chat, a different drosha that we learn from Beisoi. The Beisoi yatanichnos, aval atanichnos l'schar kotef, l'schar chamor, l'schar pundik, l'schar dun koif. That you're not allowed, the special din of the Torah, that if you took someone owes you money from a loan, you're not allowed to go into his house to take a mashkin. But that's only if it's a loan. If it's not a loan, if he owes you money for schlepping, or for renting him your donkey, or for a hotel room, or for doing a painting in his house, in that case, and he didn't pay you, you're allowed to go into his house to take a mashkin. If one of these cases that he owes you money for schlepping, for your donkey, for your hotel, or for painting his house, that if he owed you the money and he told him, you know what, don't pay me now, it's like a loan, it's a loan to you until you pay me back. In such a case, that became a loan, maybe then also you're allowed to go into his house because the source was not from a loan, it only became in a loan afterwards. Talmud Loima Masas Me'uma, it says in the Pasuk, any type of loan, and therefore at the end of the day it became a loan. So if it's a loan, you're not allowed to go in his house, even though that started not because of a loan, it started because of a job you did for him. So it comes out that we learn from the Beisoi, there's two ways how to learn. One is the Beisoi, you're not allowed to go into the house of the Loiva, but you're allowed to go into the house of the Aryeh. The second chat is that you're not allowed to go into the Beisoi for a loan, but you're allowed to go to his Beisoi for something else if it's a different choiv that he owes you for a job you've done for him. Says the Mishnah, Almona, someone who doesn't have a husband, who passed away, Benchi Anio, doesn't matter if she's poor, Benchi Ashura, doesn't matter if she's rich, so you're not allowed to take a mashkin, a deposit. It's in the Pasuk, you're not allowed to take a cloak of Almona. We're going to bring now machloikis about this. Almona, Benchi Anio, Benchi Ashura, doesn't matter if she's poor, doesn't matter if she's rich. So Divra Rabbi Yehuda says, like our Mishnah, that doesn't matter if she's rich, doesn't matter if she's poor, you're not allowed to take a mashkin. Reb Shimon Oimer depends. Ashira, if she's rich, so you're allowed to take a mashkin. Anio, if she's poor, so you're not allowed to take a mashkin. Why? Because she's poor, you need to give it back to her the cushion at night and the macharish in the day. But you have she's almonish, she doesn't have a husband, and you go every night to give back the cushion. It looks bad. People are going to say, why is that guy going? They won't know that he's going to give back the cushion. They'll think he's going to do Avera. So that's why, by a poor person, a poor almona, you're not allowed to take a mashkin in the first place because you can't give it back to her because you do a shemra. It comes out, Rabbi Yehuda loy dorish time of the crop. Rabbi Yehuda doesn't, it says in the Pasuk almona, you can't take a mashkin. We don't do cheshbonis, what's pshat in the Pasuk, why the Torah said it. It says you can't take a mashkin, so it doesn't matter if she's rich, doesn't matter if she's poor. Rab Shimon dorish time of the crop, and Rab Shimon does darish in time of the crop. Because Rab Shimon says, no, depends. If she's rich, you're allowed. If she's poor, you're not allowed, because the whole reason of the Pasuk is because shemra. We know a different machlokes between Rab Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda, that we see the opposite. That Rab Shimon is the one who is not Dorish Tam of the Kor, and Rabbi Yehuda the one who's Dorish Tam of the Kor. The Tanya that we learned in the Brisa, it said about a king, you shouldn't have many women. Rabbi Yehuda, it's okay to have many women who have actually the main thing is that they shouldn't cause him to go after Hashem. They shouldn't make him to do bad stuff. So if you take tzaddikas woman, no problem to have many women. So we could see Rabbi Yehuda is Dorish Tam the Krok, because it says in Torah you're not allowed to take many women, and he explains why. Rab Shimon Oimer, afilu achas v'imasiris liboy, if it's even one woman and she's a bad woman, Aryeh lo yisena, you're not allowed to marry her. In Cain, if so, matam uloima v'lo yarba lo noshin. Why did the Torah, what does it mean they're not allowed to have many women? Afilu k'Abigail, even tzaddikas, a woman like Abigail, the wife of David, even such woman, you're not allowed to have many, more than a certain amount. So we could see that Rab Shimon is Durish Tam the Crow, depends if she's Master. Sorry, Rab Shimon is not Durish Tam the Crow. Rab Yudah the one who's Durish Tam the Crow, the opposite of what we saw before. So the more Lo'ilam Rab Yudah Loi Durish Tam the Crow. Rab Yudah the one who doesn't Durish the Crow. All Rechor we just saw in the Brisa that he says, depends if Masiris is Libo is not. No, the Shiny Ocha, by the case of the king, it's different. In Farish Korka, it says clearly in the Torah, V'lo yarbe lo noshim, he shouldn't have many women, V'lo yosur, and he shouldn't, V'lo yosur levavoy, and they shouldn't ruin him and make him a bad person. So because it says in the first in the pasuk with Darshan, my time lo yarbe lo noshim, what's the reason why he shouldn't have many women? Mishum de lo yosur, because they shouldn't ruin him. And therefore, if it's tzaddik is the woman, says Rabbi Yehuda, you're allowed to marry many women. But in a case where the Torah doesn't tell you the reason, like by Almona, it says that you're not allowed to take a mashkin from Almona. It says lo yisach bol beged Almona and doesn't say why. So we don't start explaining why. Rab Shimon, who says by the case of Mar Benoshim, he doesn't darish Tam the Crow, Mechti. He says, let's see, Ba'alma, normally darshin Tam the Crow. We all darish Tam the Crow, and by Beged Almona, let's say we say it's because he has to go there every night to give it back to her, and therefore it's a shame rabba. By Ashura, you're allowed to take a mashkin. So therefore, by the lo yarbe lo noshim lichte rachmana lo yarbe, the Torah should tell you they not meant to take many women, but lo yosor, and the Torah doesn't need to explain the reason why. And I'll work out myself because we are derish time at the cross, says Rab Shimon. So I'll work out the reason is that why is it my time lo yarbe lo noshim? Why should he not have many women? Mishum de lo yosor, because obviously because we don't want that the woman to make him bad. So why did the Torah come and bother and tell you that the reason is because lo yarbe lo nosh, because you're lo yosu levovoy? Because it's coming to tell you afilu achas umesiras lovoy arezi lo yiseno. If the Torah tells only lo yarbe lo noshim, we'd know that the reason is because of making him bad. So we'd know the difference if it's good woman or bad woman. But since the Torah goes and makes an effort and tells you because lo yosu, so the Torah is telling you even one woman, if she makes him bad, you're not allowed to marry her. And many women, doesn't matter if they're good woman or bad woman, you're not allowed. And therefore, it comes out that really Rab Shimon always darshans Tam of the Torah, and Rab Yehuda doesn't. Just when the Torah goes specifically and does tell you the reason, then it comes out the opposite. Because if you're Rab Yehuda, here the Torah did explain, so we all darsh Tam of the Torah. And Rab Shimon says, why did we need it? It's extra. It must be coming to tell you something else. Says a Mishnah, so we learned this earlier. The rechaim is where you grind the wheat to make flour, and it has two parts. The bottom is called rechaim, and the top is called the rechev. It's roichev, it rides on top. He's over isav lo isase, because it says in the pasuk lo yachbor rechaim berechev kinefesh uchoyvel. Rechaim mishum shnei kelim is over. When he takes the rechaim, he's also taking the rechev that's on top of it. He's over on two surim. Shnema lo yachbor rechaim berechev. On each one is over irisa. Continue the Mishnah. It's not when the Torah says that you're not allowed to take the rechaim berechev. It's only that ela kol davar shoisim bo yoichin nefesh. Anything that's used for basic food, like to make flour, you're not allowed to take. Shnema, because the continuation of the pasuk it says kinefesh uchoyvel, because he's taking away his nefesh, his neshama. And what's the neshama? His basic necessities, his wheat, his flour, anything that is basic things, you're not allowed to take. Omar Rav Huna, so now we're going to see a machloikis about this. Rav Huna says, Choval rechaim, and together with a rechev, loikesh time, he's over two isurim. What two isurim? Mishum rechaim. Sorry, if he only takes a rechaim by itself, he's over two isurim. Mishum rechaim, because it's in the Torah, lo yachbar rechaim. Mishum ki nefesh uchoyvel, because the end of the pasuk, nefesh uchoyvel, also includes a rechaim, so you're over two isurim. Rechaim v'rechev, if you took also the rechaim and also the rechev, loikesh shalosh is over two isurim. What the isurim? Number one, mishum rechaim v'rechev. Number one and two, that's a two isurim. And the third one is mishum ki nefesh uchoyvel, that's on both of them. Rav Yehuda Omar, Achov al rechaim only loike achas. V'rechev, only Rechev loike achas, Rechaim Rechev loike shtayim. But not three like Rav Huna said. Ki nefesh uchoivel, why is that coming to say, says the Gemara Kuf Tesvav on base, l'shar dvarim u'da'asa, is coming to tell you that anything that's like Rechaim Rechev, that's something for the neshama, something basic like making wheat, anything similar to that, you're also over, but it's not coming to tell you another issa for Rechaim Rechev. Okay, so now we see this machlokes. Now the Gemara wants to connect this machlokes of Rabbi Huna and Rabbi Yehuda to machlokes Abaye and Rava. Lema, let's say Abaye and Rava, that we're going to see in a second what they argue about, the pluk to the Rabbi Huna and Rabbi Yehuda come iflige. It's the same machlokes. Doma Rava, ochal no, the itza. Let's read the pasuk a second. The pasuk talking about eating the korban pesach. It says al toichal mimenu, no, don't eat from it raw. And you're not allowed to eat it cooked. The only way to eat it is on the fire. So the Omar Rava, if he ate something raw, he's over to Isurim. One, Mishum no, because it says Al Toichal Mimenu no. And the second it says Mishum Ki Im Tzliyesh, that it says the only way to eat it is on a fire. No, it's not on a fire, so therefore you're over to Isurim. Mevushal, if you ate it cooked, one mishum mevushal, because it says ubasha mevushal b'mayim, that's forbidden. Mishum kim tzliesh, and this is not tzliesh. No mevushal. If let's say half of it is, let's say 2 pieces or 1 piece, half is raw and half is cooked. Loike shalosh is over 2 isurim, 3 isurim. Mishum no, that's raw. Mishum mevushal, because it's cooked. Mishum lo yitzichlenu kim tzliesh, because it's on the pasuk that the only way to eat it is on a fire, and this is not on a fire. Abaye argues and he says, on the issa of ki'im tzliyesh, that the only way to eat it on a fire, it's a klalostikel, it's not specifically, it's saying that you should only eat it on a fire. Michlal that you could hear that you shouldn't eat it cooked, or you shouldn't eat it raw. That's, even such a issa. So let's say l'chora Abaye holds like the shitta before of Rabbi Yehuda, that ki nefesh uchoivel is going on other things, it's not going on Rechaim and Rechev. And Rava holds like Rav Huna. Rava is going to tell you no. I know that I could fit in also like for Rav Yehuda. Why? Only over there Rav Yehuda said that the issa of kinefesh uchoivel is going in other thing than non rechaim rechev. Why? Elo de kinefesh uchoivel loy mashma rechaim rechev, or loy mashma mir rechaim rechev. Hilkach. That means over there, if we would say only Rechaim Rechev, you'd say specifically Rechaim Rechev, Yoiva Esa. But if it's anything else, the Torah Choichen Nefesh, Yoiva Esa. That's why the Torah had to add on Kinefesh Uchoivel to tell you other things. But when the Torah added it on, it's coming to tell you other things, not Rechaim Rechev. Aval Hocha by us about Korban Pesach, Kim Tzliesh Lemay also. Why are they coming to include Kim Tzliesh? Why are they coming to add on? We know already you're not allowed to eat it raw. You're not allowed to eat it cooked. So obviously the way to eat it is on the fire. So why did the Torah come and say that you have to eat it on the fire? Shema minol elav, it must be coming to tell you that if you eat it raw or you eat it cooked, you're over another issa not only of eating it raw, not only of eating it cooked, you're also over the issa of Kim Tzliesh. Because otherwise, why are they coming to tell you? And therefore, in such a case, Rabbi Yehuda will agree that you'll be over 3 surim. Abaye is going to tell you, I know that Rav Huna, I could also fit in if Rav Huna over there on Amud Aleph who holds you over 3 surim, over here you'll be only over 2 surim. Why that? Ad kanoi kol Rav Huna Hasan. The whole reason why Rav Huna said over there you're over 3. Ela dechi nefesh uchoivel yeseiruhu. It's extra. So Rashi explains. Yeseiru kufte zayin Amud Aleph the top Rashi lelav mishum sheshar dvarim mikeven deiteru lelav v'kos v'stoma. That means it's extra to tell you a lav for other things. But since it's extra to tell you other things, then he wrote it stam shati nam rechaim rechev. So over there we have rechaim rechev that's also ready. So what did nefesh uchoivel come to tell you? The other things you also over lav. But the Torah didn't tell you other things. The Torah just said Nefesh Uchoivel, and in fact, Nefesh Uchoivel also includes Rechaim V'Rechev, because that's also Nefesh. So it must be the Rechaim V'Rechev. You also over not only the Issa of Rechaim V'Rechev, you also over the Issa of Nefesh Uchoivel, because it's included. But by us, Rashi explains, Aval hocha kim tzliesh lav lazora also. It's not coming to tell you Issa, it's coming to be moisef a lav, because we know already a lav for no, and we know already a lav for Mubusha. So why is it coming to tell you? It's coming to tell you a different din, a whole different din. Let's see. So let's see this inside. I'm going back a little bit. I could fit in like Ravuna. Ad kan loika Omar Ravuna Hosom. Over there, Ravuna said you overthrew so Meladichi Nefesh Uchoyvel Yisera, who it's extra to tell you another lav, and Rechaim and Rechev included in Nefesh Uchoyvel, and therefore you over another lav. So that, and Kevin the Yisera, since it's extra to tell you another lav, Shadye Aryeh v'Rechev, so it also goes on Aryeh v'Rechev, because that's also Nefesh Uchoyvel. Aval hocha by us by Korban Pesach. It's not lava, extra lava it's coming to tell you. You need it for something else. We need it to tell you a whole different thing. They tell you what? That let's read the pasuk again. Al soichal mimenu no. Don't eat it from a raw, and don't eat it cooked. Now, when is that? Let's say if I ate the Korban Pesach a week late, you may eat the Korban Pesach the first night. If I ate it a week late, raw and cooked, am I over this Issa? So, l'chora, I should be over this Issa. But that's why the Torah tells you, Ki im tzliesh, you know when the Issa of Noah Mevushal is when you meant to eat it tzliesh, when is that? The first night. So only the first night you're over the Issa of non Mevushal B'mayim. But if the time of Achilas Korban Pesach is over, then you're not over the Issa of non Mevushal B'mayim. And that's why over here Rav Huna agrees that you're not over through Yisurim, because the Pasuk of Kim Tzliesh is coming to tell you when is the time of the Issa of non Mevushal B'mayim, when it's a time to eat it. But if the time is past, you're not over the Issa of non Mevushal B'mayim, and therefore it's not coming to tell you extra lav. So Rav Huna will agree over here that you're not over extra lav. Masha'imkin over there, that's what Kinefesh Uchoyvel is coming to tell you extra lav. For other things, it's also included Rechaim Rechev. So it comes out that the Machlokes of Abaye Rava is not dependent on the Machlokes Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda. Each one Abaye could fit in Beinefir Rav Huna, Beinefir Rav Yehuda, and Rava could also fit in if he both Amoraim. Everyone should have a blessed week, and we should be zoche to remember these Gemaras and do Chazorah and understand it to the depth of them, and to Be'ez Hashem to finish Bo Mציעא this week on time. Shkoyach.